Hey guys, it's Leanne. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is a Foundation Friday video and I'm going to be going in today with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation, and the shade that I am currently wearing is the shade Stromboli. It's this shade here. So yeah, if you would like to see my feedback, opinions and thoughts on the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation, then please keep on watching and leave me some feedback and enjoy. So today, as the title suggests, I'm going to be going in with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. Now, I've got two shades, and one shade is Stromboli. This is Stromboli, and this one is in the shade Barcelona. So there's not much difference between the two shades, but I think that Barcelona is slightly darker than Stromboli. I'm just going to read out some of the claims that the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation makes. So this foundation claims to give a glowing, natural and radiant finish. It is a sheer and buildable coverage that immaculately evens skin tone. So obviously the foundation is called Sheer Glow, so yeah, the foundation is a sheer and buildable coverage, but it's claiming to even skin tone. It has a brightening formula, and it also claims to leave skin hydrated, more luminous, softer and smoother, and it improves the skin's brightness and texture. So from everything I've just read out then, it seems that this foundation is claiming to have skincare benefits. I've actually used this foundation before, and to be honest, I haven't used it for a good while. It's been about, and maybe I haven't used it for like a good few months. Like, I actually can't remember the last time I used it, but I do remember that I like this foundation, but I've kind of forgot what was so good about it or why I did rave about it so much. But I'm not sure what made me stop using this foundation. Like, I just haven't used it for months. I haven't picked it up for months on myself, on clients. But maybe that's because there's so many good drugstore foundations now that I've been maybe more focusing on them on my YouTube channel or whatever. But yeah, I thought for Foundation Friday, it's only right that we give this foundation a try, because I know it is one of the most hyped foundations and a lot of people swear by it. So to start, I'm going to be going in with one of my favourite products now. So this is primer, and it's the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and it's in the shade Universal Sheer. So this is for all skin tones. It's not a liquid product, it's a cream formula. So I'm just going to be dipping my fingers in and rubbing it across the skin where I actually do struggle with enlarged pores. So for me, that's areas mainly like the cheeks and a little bit on the chin and on the forehead as well, actually. I'm just going to be putting my primer on with fingers like I always do. Even with liquid primers, I always use fingertips. I feel like it allows the product to sink into the skin a lot more. So I've applied quite a generous amount, and as you can see, I've really worked this into the skin, specifically focusing on areas where I know that my skin actually does have pores showing through foundation. So what I've decided to do for today's Foundation Friday is I've decided to do two different techniques. So on one half of the face, I've decided that I'm going to be actually setting the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer with a powder, with a loose baking powder. And then on the other half of the face, I've decided that I'm not actually going to be setting the primer, because this is just more for myself and maybe for other people who might find this useful. I just want to see if it makes any difference to pores coming through. So yeah, I've decided to use this video today to try that out. So to set one half of the face, the loose baking powder I'm going to be using is the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder in the shade Banana. So I'm going to be going in with the Juno & Co sponge, and I'm just going to be, I've tipped some of that banana powder into the lid of another powder, and I'm just going to be pressing this powder into the skin. The NARS foundation is a luminous and radiant glowy foundation, and I know that by me applying loose baking powder to one side of the face, I feel like that's going to change how the foundation will look. So I feel like the foundation might look a little bit more matte, which is fine, but we'll get to see that anyway. We'll get to see if doing this does change how the foundation actually looks on the skin. But really, like I've said before, I actually just wanted to set one half of the face, set the primer to see if it does make any difference to how pores show through foundation throughout the day. This video is going to be my little guinea pig for that. So I feel like this side looks like it's got a little bit of a coverage to it. So clearly adding a layer of baking powder definitely does blur some imperfections and give a very light layer of coverage, but still, in comparison to this side looks a lot more flawless in my opinion. The shade I'm going to be going in with is Stromboli. And I'm just going to try. Okay, so when I've just went to put some pumps out, I'm not sure if I'm just like running out or this is just how this pump works, but it does not disperse a lot. So that was off 2 pumps, by the way, literally 2 pumps. Oh, okay, now it's working fine. So that's what 1 pump looks like here. So I'm just gonna do, so I'd say I've done like 3 pumps now. So I'm just gonna be dotting this foundation onto the skin as always, and then I'm gonna be blending it away with a brush and then going on top with a beauty blender, as I've found that this is the best way to get a more flawless coverage. So to buff in the foundation, I'm going to be using a Real Techniques buffing brush, and I'm just going to be patting this foundation on top of the skin. I'm not actually rubbing or swiping, I'm just literally pressing this foundation into the skin. Now it does actually look a little bit too yellowy for my skin tone. Now I am aware that this foundation looks a little bit too deep for my skin tone, but I have actually used it before and it does seem to just eventually, when other products are applied, it seems to just settle into my skin quite well. So I'm not worried at this point. So I'm going to be going in with another pump now because this is running quite low. So as you've seen, I've already used 3 pumps and this is literally covered half the face, but I do feel like I definitely need 1 more pump. So I'm just going to do the same to this side, just going to be dotting this on. So to me, both sides seem to look the same. Even though I've applied a loose baking powder to this side, I think that both sides are very similar in terms of colour. I actually thought after I'd applied the banana powder, I thought, oh my god, this is actually going to change the colour on this side and make it a bit darker. But I don't actually think it has really. What do you guys think? Do you see a difference in colour or in coverage from this side to this side? I think this side looks a little bit more full coverage in real life. I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera, but this side to me in real life looks a little bit more full coverage than this side. Just give you a little bit of a closer look. But to be honest, I'm actually just looking now in my little Jeffree Star mirror in case anyone is wondering why I keep looking down here. So I'm just thinking that I actually can't really notice a difference between the pores on either side. What do you think? Can you see a difference in pores or texture on the skin from this side to this side? I actually can't really see a difference, which is strange because I really did expect to see a difference, because when you set a pore filling primer, it's meant to be like you're adding an extra layer and you're really sealing the pore filling primer into the pores, whereas on this side, as you've seen, I did press it in my fingers, but I didn't really, you know, obviously use the powder to press it in. So I was expecting to see a difference in this side, but that's still interesting anyway. Could just be me. You might see differently. You might actually see a more improved texture on this side to this side. I'm just going to go now and do the rest of the makeup off camera, check back in a few hours, and then check back in later to say goodbye and my final thought on the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation in the shade Stromboli. So yes, BRB. So I've applied the foundation, I've done all other face products off camera, so I'm just checking in now to show you what the full and completed finished face looks like using the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation in the shade Stromboli. I've literally just applied this. This is how the foundation looks, literally very fresh. It's literally just been applied. So far I'm very, very happy with the foundation. I love the finish. And again, I'm going to ask you again, do you think that this side looks any more full coverage or any better textured than this side? I personally don't think there's like actually a difference, but let me know what you think in the comment section anyway, because I'm always interested to hear what, like, you know, me subscribers think. Sometimes people can see things better than I might be able to see things and whatever. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. May I just add that all of the products blended very well, and I'm so happy with how the skin looks. Like, I feel very confident. I'd feel very confident to go out like this now. I love how glowy and dewy the skin looks, how flawless it looks. It has sort of evened my skin tone, I would say. Despite the fact that I put the banana powder on this side, I'd still say that this side looks the same in terms of colour. So that's one claim that I do think it lives up to. Yeah, it does probably even the skin tone, I would say. So I'm going to check back in a few hours, maybe like 3-4 hours before I go to work tonight, and then after I've done my shift, I'm going to come in and I'm going to check back in again. So that'll be about in about 8 hours. So I'm going to do a 4-hour check-in and then an 8-hour check-in. So I'm going to be wearing a mask to go into work as well, so it'll be interesting to see if this foundation lasts and is mask proof, shall we say. So yeah, be right back. But really, in reality, it's going to be like in 4 hours, but in YouTube time, I will see you in like 1 second. Don't miss me too much. So I'm just checking back in now, guys, and so today I done this makeup at about 12 o'clock / 1 o'clock. That's when I filmed the first part of the Foundation Friday tutorial. So now, as you can see on the clock behind me, it is 8:45. So this makeup and this foundation has literally been on for about 7 to 8 hours or so. Bear in mind, remember I said before that I've done a shift which was about 4 or 5 hours long, and I've been wearing a mask for the majority of them hours while I was actually in work. As you can see, the foundation has completely been removed from the tip of the nose. That is just like completely, and there's a spot here which was covered today by the foundation but now is coming through very red. So it definitely didn't last on the tip of the nose, but obviously it's kind of an unfair standard to judge a foundation by, because normally we would never do a full face of foundation and makeup and then put a covering over it. That's just like wouldn't normally happen. So I'm not really judging it too much from this. I feel like this is like kind of inevitable. If you have something pressing on your skin for this many hours, like a mask, then obviously this is inevitable. But on the side that I did do the loose banana powder, I do notice a difference in pores and texture on the skin. So on this side, I feel like it looks a little bit more cakey here. Literally here on the skin, it looks a little bit more cakey around the pores. And on this side, it's a little bit more smoother. Also, the foundation is coming off on the chin as well, as you can probably see here. But generally, the foundation, I would actually recommend the foundation because it photographs very well. It's got quite a good shade range as well. And overall, I am impressed with how well it has provided coverage and for how long lasting the foundation's been. So yeah, I would definitely actually recommend this foundation. It's not my absolute favourite foundation and it's not an absolute must have at all, but I do like the foundation and I do think it's held up and done a good job, considering I've been in work and it's been on the skin for literally 7 to 8 hours. It's had a mask on top and the only visible places that it's wearing off is the nose and the chin. There's really not much caking or creasing. I know I said a little bit here, it's creasing in the pores, but apart from that, like on the forehead, there's not much. It looks quite smooth on the forehead. So it does look a little bit dewy on the forehead, as you can probably tell. So if you've got an oilier skin, maybe this foundation is not for you. but my skin's combination, so it's a mix between normal and oily. I'd say it's not really very dry, my skin, but yeah, this is how the foundation's held up, and I would definitely recommend this foundation, but maybe just consider it a bit more carefully, or try a sample. If NARS do samples, try a sample first before purchasing, because it is expensive, and it gets a big thumbs up from me. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this Foundation Friday review / tutorial, and I will see you in the next tutorial. PS, subscribe, like, comment, follow me on Instagram.